You want to be comfortable pushing over 700 horsepower without making sure that everything under the hood is secure. Yeah, this is what's happening every day in production Linux environments. So follow along and let me show you how to not make the same mistakes.
Alright, the first thing we need to do is grab our ISO. We're going to come over to centos.org/download. We're going to come to CentOS stream. We're going to go from 10, we're going to drop down to 9. We want the 8664 architecture ISO, and this one right here. So go ahead and select this, download it. I think it's like 6 gigs or somewhere in there. And when you get that, come back and we'll start it up. Here we are. So once you get here, we're going to select our machine. It's going to be a new machine. You're going to name it whatever you want to. This is going to be OpenSCAP video. I'm going to select the ISO wherever you saved it, and we're going to skip the unattended install. Go ahead and give it whatever resources you wish. I give mine quite a bit so that it'll actually run faster through these. 20 gigs is enough for the drive. We're going to finish. Do not start the machine yet. We need to configure a few things. So first, we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to system. Pointing device right here, we're going to change this from PS2 to USB tablet. If you don't do this, you will lose your pointer in the machine, and you also won't be able to utilize it in the machine. From there, we're going to head over to network. We're going to change this from network address translation over to bridge adapter. This is going to allow our host machine to connect with our virtual machine. You're going to select whichever one of these applies to you, and if you are unaware, the WLO1, this is your Wi-Fi connection, and this is your hardwire. Yours might look a little different, but general rule, this is going to be your Wi-Fi. So I'm hardwired. We're going to select that and hit OK. Now we're ready to start this up. Go ahead and hit your start button. Once you get here, go ahead and drag your mouse over and click into the machine. It's going to go away. Don't worry, we're able to get it back. From here, select your up button. We're going to just install CentOS Stream 9. Now you might be thinking, hey, Anthony, it has to be FIPS compliant, right? Well, anytime that I've tried to install CentOS Stream 9 in FIPS mode, has not worked for me real well. So we're going to do this manually, and I think it's important for you to know how to do it manually anyways, because it is a Cat 1 rule in the STIG. So select CentOS install. There we go. So remember, in order to get your pointer back, we're going to hit the right control. And it's back. Can't see it in the black on black, but I promise it's there. If in the top right you get the mouse integration warning, that is exactly the reason that we switched over to the USB tablet. This is what you should be looking at. From here, you're going to go ahead and select your language. And now we need to create a root password. I am making this password to make it easy. Now this already has a dictionary of passwords that it does not like, and this is in it, which means that you will see this little warning at the bottom. You must select done twice in order for it to accept that password. Now we're going to select install destination. I let it configure automatically. I'm going to select done. Go ahead and let that finish up. And what you don't see behind my head is the begin installation, which you should see in front of you. So go ahead and select that. So this process can take a few minutes. So while this is going, I'm going to show you something else here. So open-scap.org is how you're going to get to their website. What I want to show you here is their user manual. Their user manual is pretty solid and makes quite a bit of sense. Running through it, I did not have any issues with anything that they had on here. If you try to use OpenSCAP on Ubuntu, I don't know what the issue is, but they do not like each other. So if you're going to do this, I would say go ahead and use CentOS. Once your reboot system button comes up, go ahead and select that. Once you get to your setup, select Start Setup. Turn off your location services. Do not connect any personal accounts. We are going to name mine Hepja. Password is also going to be password. Keep things nice and simple. And there we go. I do not want to take a tour. Go ahead and select your terminal. Open it up. First thing we're going to do is we need to find the IP address. So we are going to input IP A. Ignore the first one here. This is your loopback address. You want this one. So I should already have my notes up, and I don't. 192.168.1.166. There we go. All right. Now we are going to open up our host terminal. So in your host terminal, you are going to ping count 5 192.168.1.166. Now this is just making sure that we have connection to our virtual machine. So this is what you want to see right here. 5 packets transmitted, 5 received, 0 lost. Perfect. Now we're going to SSH into this machine. So we're going to SSH the user of your VM at IP address 192.168.1.166. There we go. You're going to go ahead and type yes for this unknown fingerprint. And we're going to type in password. There we go. So from here, who am I? Hafja. Perfect. Now, make sure we get the same exact thing on our virtual machine to show you guys. Who am I? Hafja. All right. So we now know that we are able to connect to our host machine. We are going to be able to pull files from our host machine. We want to configure FIPS first. If you don't, once you harden the system and then try to enable FIPS, because of all the permissions and everything being locked up, it causes issues. So it's going to be the first thing that we check, and it should be the first thing you check if you're ever doing this out in the wild. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to verify that it is not enabled. So sudo FIPS mode setup check. It helps if you get your password correct. And here we go. Installation of FIPS modules not completed. FIPS mode is disabled. So we're going to fix that. First thing we're going to do is sudo FIPS mode setup enable. Go ahead and let this 15 seconds run out and let it do its thing. Now, once you get the reboot, do not reboot it yet. There we go. So FIPS mode is enabled. Please reboot the system for the setting to take effect. We are not going to do that just yet. First, we're going to clear. Going to sudo grubby. We need to update kernel. Yeah, equals all. And then our arguments. Args equals FIPS equals 1, which is true. All right. And now we're going to system CTL reboot. All right, let's get back in our machine. Open up your terminal, and from here you can select your up button to go back through commands that you have already run. So we're going to go back to the sudo FIPS mode setup check. We're going to verify that this took properly, and there you go. FIPS mode is enabled. Perfect. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to the installation of OpenSCAP and SSGs. First thing is sudo DNF install OpenSCAP scanner. There you go. All right. So you're going to hit Y and enter because we want to install that. Same thing, Y, enter. There we go. So I'm going to clear my terminal out, and those are installed. Next thing we're going to do is sudo yum install of our SSGs, which is our SCAP security guides. I'm going to select Y again. Go ahead and let that download. And that is it. So now we're going to change our directory into our root directory. We are going to change our directory into USR share XML SCAP SSG content. As long as you see content here, you know that this path is good and you are all the way in your content directory. So let's list this out. And you should see 2 SSGs, one for CS9 and one for RHEL 9. Obviously, we are going to be utilizing the CentOS 9 for our machine. But this is good news. Everything looks good here. So now we are going to verify that we have our profiles. So OSCAP info, same path, USR share XML SCAP SSG content, except now we are going to go SSG -C. And once you get this far, you can actually just hit tab and it'll finish it out for you because it's the only one that matches with what we are typing, and select enter. So what you see here is all the different profiles that we can run. The one that we want is right here, DISA STIG with GUI for Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. And this is going to be the profile itself. This is the one that we want. So awesome, it's there. We know where it is. We know the path. So let's create a directory to put all of our results in. All right, I accidentally closed out of my terminal. So that's actually an easy way to do it, I guess. Close out your terminal, open it back up. You want to see your little squiggly. That means you're in this guy's home. So we are already here. I'm going to list out. So here's all of your home directories. We're going to add one to this. So we're going to make directory. We're going to call it STIG results. Go ahead and hit enter. Now we can list this back out. And there we go. This is our new directory. You want to remember the path for this. So the way that you can do that is, well, I guess I need to change directory, huh? We'll change directory into STIG results. And if you put pwd, print working directory, this is our path. This is what you're going to need. So go ahead and save that. All right. We are finally ready to start running our scans. I'm going to change directory back one. There we go. Run our first scan. We're going to sudo OSCAP XCCDF eval profile. Put our profile in here, so XCCDF org.ssg project content profile STIG GUI. Now I'm going to be utilizing this, so if you do a backslash and hit enter, it will just continue with that command, just a line lower. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this so that I can make sure that what you guys are seeing up here is big enough. So from here, I'm gonna go STIG Viewer. Now we're gonna tell it where to put this file. We're gonna put this in home, your user. So mine is Hefja. And the directory we just made, so STIG results. And now we're going to /, and we're going to name this file. So I'm going to name it first scan and then .xml. The .xml has to be there. You can name the file whatever you wish. And now we need to tell it where to grab the SSG from. So /usr share XML SCAP SSG SCAP SSG content SSG tax CS, and it should finish this out for you. So once you get through this, go ahead and hit enter, put your password, and now we let it run. Now it's important that you do sudo before doing this. It will run without those permissions, but every time it hits a rule that it needs the permissions, you have to put the password in, and it's so annoying that I ended up killing the whole thing and restarting. And as it scrolls, you see the pass and fails as they go, and it is finished. I'm going to clear out my terminal. Let's go to our STIG results, list this, and there we go. Our scan is here. So let's jump over to our host machine and grab that. So the way that we are going to do this is we're going to SCP, going to our user at 192.168.1.166. All right, now we need the direct path to that file. So we know it is /home/user and STIG results first scan.xml, and now we need to tell it where to put it. So I already know my path, which is home, me, and then we're going to, I say I know it, but I should probably double check. All right, yeah, so we're gonna put it in STIG test. All right, let's see if this works. Put in your password for your virtual machine, and there we go. So here you see the first scan XML, and then let me transition this over, and in that same line you should see this 100% right here. So you got that, good to go. Go ahead and pull up your STIG Viewer. From here we're going to create a new checklist. Going to open STIG. The RHEL 9v7 is what we're going for here. And go ahead and add this into the checklist of everything we want for this machine, which we're only doing that STIG. We're going to go ahead and fill it. All right, so we have 446 rules total. Let's go ahead and import that file and see where our virtual machine currently sits. 347 rules that have matching IDs, 91 that had matching rule IDs but mismatched revision IDs. So this is practice. We go ahead and I'll select that so we can get as many imported as possible. 4 rules that could not be matched, which are these 4, and you can go and look those up if you want to, but you'll also be able to see that nothing was done with them. And there we go. So we have 253 that are non-compliant, 147 compliant, 25 non-applicable, and 21 that were not reviewed. So let's kick back over to our virtual machine and start running the remediation and see what happens. Now, I was asked in a comment on the Windows SCC SCAP video about, well, do you have to input comments and findings? Well, no. And the reason being is it will do that itself. So if you see down here, it gives the tool and the time and whether it failed or passed. So this one failed, this one passed. So of course all these have to be remediated, these have to be done manually. But let's see if we can make this any better with the remediation. All right, for the remediation, to make this easier than just having to type everything back out, I'm gonna scroll on back to this command. We're gonna come back, gonna get rid of this, get rid of STIG Viewer. I'm gonna come over in front of eval, space out, remediate. And here we go. So what you did not see is my screen black out, which is completely normal. So after your first run of the remediation, this is what you should be looking at. You no longer have a GUI. However, what we are looking at currently is not the end, because according to, at least in NIST 800-171 3.1.9 rule, we have to have our security and privacy statement, and we still don't see that. So we're going to rerun this remediation, and we may end up having to do this a few times. Well, OBS decided that it did not want to record anymore, so you didn't get to see me run that command. But as you can see here, we now have our security and privacy statement. You are accessing a U.S. government information system. Well, obviously you're not, but we now meet the rule. So we are going to run this again because, once again, your screen may black out and you may have to reset. Just make sure that when you do that, the machine has settled out, and you can check that in the logs, or if you are running on a laptop like I am, you can literally verbally hear it stop screaming at you. Okay, I don't know why I did that. The only thing that's being cut off there is the DS XML. Let's go ahead and run this again. Notice each time you run it, you see more and more and more pass. So you know it's working. And we'll stop rerunning it once it fully completes, and you'll see what that looks like. All right, now we are going to run our second scan and see what we got. Let's scroll back up to this one. And we are going to change first to second. And let's run this. Looks like a lot more green than we had before. Let's verify that this file was made real quick. I don't even remember what we called that. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we have our second scan. Let's pull it over. All right, so if you remember on this machine, we're gonna SCP. Now I did check my IP address because I am filming this over multiple days, and it is still the same. Now what you're gonna see here is this is gonna fail because we do not have permissions for this. And we have a permission denied. We're going to clear this out, and we are going to come back to this machine. And what we're going to do here is sudo chmod 777 secondscan.xml. Now what this is doing is giving everybody full permissions to this file. This is not something you want to do in the real world. This is just for training purposes. Now we're going to run this again. And we have the file, so let's see what STIG Viewer says. Grab that import. And actually this is the correct one right here, so we're going to grab this. See what happens. Include loosely matched roles. That looks pretty solid to me. If you want to learn some more about stigging, watch the recommended videos at the end of this. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. Let me know what you like, because next time we're going to be going over how to set up automatic scans and walking you through some manual remediations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on HETCHSEC.